website that allows anyone in the world to create a web page. This is done by simply creating a page right here. You create a page, it creates a URL site for you, so you can always find it by searching in the URL bar right here. And you can use that to then search, and you can find a website at a blink of an eye. Now that is much different compared to HTTPS, and that is what most programmers use, and that is what Google Slides uses, but translates that into a website that you can use to create a website. Quite confusing. Needless to say, we did an assignment for Khan Academy, and the assignment helped us in the beginning steps of learning code. Now, code is quite difficult because it has a specific language only programmers know how to use, so that was very difficult to actually create a website. However, I found that easier than using Google Sites because Google Sites limits you on what you are able to actually put on and the locations of certain text, certain fonts, certain images. Speaking of certain text, certain fonts, and certain images, how is all this stored? Well, it's really stored in an open server that Google has created, and Google has created this cloud-based system which then all creates to one server, which then the server goes to multiple locations throughout the world. So my web page, you can make it private or public, and I made mine private, but I made it public to certain individuals, for example, you, my teacher. Now, I will make it public one day in the future, and I'll look back, but needless to say, the banner, the logo, and the animation are really the bulk, besides the text, of my time in this course. Now, how did I create the banner and the logo? Well, first of all, I used a program called PixIR, which is very similar to Photoshop, as you were able to put layers upon layers upon layers and edit the picture itself, the quality, the color, the distortion, to a desired point. Best part about it, it's free. You don't have to pay for Photoshop. Now, if you look here at the American flag, that was my original image, and it was a norm color American flag, blue, red, and white. But I changed that to a darker hue, I added my logo, and I added a layer of text on top, which I changed to red. Now, what is really cool is how I created my logo. My logo was originally just a white square, but I cut it out, I cropped it to make it a circle, I added all these lines, colored them blue, made the red ones, colored them red, and put my text, put that all together, and I have my logo. Now the GIF is quite different because I used a website, an outside website, to create the GIF, but you see it has my logo, what I'm actually talking about, and finally, myself. Now if I go back to my webpage, I would like to start talking about the webpage in general and what is actually a search trend is. As you see, a search trend is something that was originated by Google, and trends are, as Oxford Dictionary says, a general direction in which something is developing or changing. Therefore, search trends accumulate data from searches that give information about a certain topic. Now, I added a hyperlink here, so if you look at an example that I used about North Korea and America, if you click on the United States, it brings you to the United States website where you can learn more about the US itself. But that is not the point, and that is just an overview of my topic, which is search trends. Now, we must look at the purpose of search trends. So, first part, you have to indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its intended purpose. So what is the intended purpose? The intended purpose is to track search terms and find locations that you can use search trends and the American public in general. Now, if we go to the impact, so there are many benefits and harmful effects of a certain innovation, and search trends are like every other innovation. But what's very interesting, as Linton Weeks speculates, trends are born, grow, mature, reach old age, and die, an organic life cycle, and each trend is different. He is saying that although people are able to look at trends and gain information from that, there are many harmful effects, as people follow just a celebrity, and the celebrity becomes more popular than an actual topic of interest. Now, because the American public and the public in general affect search and then create the search trend, it has a complete mesh in society, economy, and culture. So much so that elections are predicted before they are finalized due to search trends. Another is to indicate one field, other than computer science. And I looked at the medical field. Scott Teffler and James Woodburn found that by looking at only search terms, they were able to diagnose what kind of pain they had in their foot. Here's my survey and here's my video, and I'll talk about that in a few moments. Now, relationship to data. We must describe the innovation as consumer data. So, like many other data points, search trends consumes large amounts of raw data. It's pretty much mega data, metadata, just all big data, all compiled, but through small little search interests and regions. The regions are picked out by the IP address, and the IP address tells you where it's located and what you searched, which goes into the next. What's the problem that we use? And one major problem is that search trends uses your IP address, and the IP address can get you in trouble with the law. The technical aspects, E, describe how a user interacts with the innovation. Very simple. As I go to the web page, you can see it's quite easy to use. You search it, you search your trend right here, you have your insights, you have your trending topics, all here, all in front of you, all very simple. Google is very good at this. Now finally, how does it in one big idea? And that would be the idea that has global impacts. Although search trends impact the American people significantly, if something happens across Europe, the world begins to search European problems, and the track goes from America to Europe. Finally, we must look at Google Forms and my video. So, and that's back in the impacts. Going down, so my survey, so I usually gather data from all the individuals who took my survey, answer these questions, and I was able to come up with a chart. This chart right here, as I zoom in for you, it shows that in the count of where is one of the questions, and it shows that out of this 0 of not knowing and 10 of if you've heard it before, 2 people, not really, no, and yes, people responded to my survey, and I was able to calculate data from this just as search trends do. And finally, here is my video. I used YouTube Video Editor to edit my video, and in order to do this, I took a 5-minute video and cut it down into time, and I also put filters on top of the video. And here's my video. Social trends and its American influence.
Something that everybody's looking up the same thing. Like today, the comedian with the chop head.
This is my mother, who was describing what a search trend was. Now I will go and continue and then talk to my sisters.
That would be a trend. I guess Google. Let's go at Google.
Did you hear Donald Trump is building a wall? I wonder why. I didn't know. Let's look it up.
All of these have major impacts on our lives, and it is our job to create data which can affect the public in general, and this is what a search trend is. It allows us to see what the American public is looking for and how it influences us. Finally, here's my references, and as you can see, these are all the references I used, and it helps just to know where we got these from, all my references from. For more information, please visit my webpage at the URL shown there.